So Project Arthur Street, we are back. So after about 8 weeks, we've done around about 8 weeks of renovation in this one. We've installed a partition wall, we've completely replaced the kitchen, we've done all the plastering, we've done a hell of a lot of work, taking the radiators off the wall. We're probably around about halfway through the renovation right now. As you can tell, it's an absolute mess and we love it for that exact reason. So what I will say is, just to preempt this, definitely check out our channel in about 8 weeks. We'll have the post-refurb video, if not less than 8 weeks, maybe about 4 weeks, we'll have the post-refurb video. This project's fully investor funded and going into our own portfolio for a social housing buy-to-let, and we're going to rent out to about 5 tenants and it's going to cash flow very well. So Project Arthur Street, this one's for our own portfolio. We're probably about halfway through the refurb right now, if not further. As you can see, brand new kitchen's been installed, got the units installed on the wall. And what we'll do in this video is run through basically the layout, exactly how we approach the renovation, and basically like what we're changing. Because at the end of the day, this isn't a full renovation, but we are making changes. We have added the partition walls. We've put a brand new kitchen in here as well. And we've just obviously finished the plastering now. Electrics are in. And yeah, we'll just basically show you the progress. So as you can see, we've got a brand new kitchen installed here. It's gonna be a really nice finish. You can see, obviously, we've got brand new electrics in. This property's been rented out to a social housing provider. So for every social housing provider, we have to put enough units in to facilitate enough tenants. Kind of the same logic as a buy-to-let. If you've got a family coming into a property, you want enough units for them to utilize where they can put their stuff, right? So even in here, we're gonna put the fridge freezer by here. Got the water supplies for the washing machines, etc. Obviously this looks going to get changed, it's quite short, but we'll get that changed. Extractor fan, and all the fundamentals are here. But you can see the finish, you can see the potential on it. And like I said, we're about halfway through the renovation right now. So yeah, we're probably only 6 weeks or so after to get this one completed, get it rented out to the provider, get it refinanced, pull the money back out, and good to go again. So let's continue the project, showing you what's up, and more importantly, the differences from what it was like 6 weeks ago to what it's like now. So one of the biggest differences at the property is actually this wall. So we've actually created this wall in order to basically have a fire protection. So the provider, they had the staircase down here, which I'll show you in a second, but what we've done is we've added this wall in, so there's only one actual fire escape to the property. So for social housing requirements, they require basically from the kitchen exit location, if you're in the kitchen, and you've got one route of exit, you have to have a fire door installed. So what we've done is we've moved the stairs, opened this all up, as you'll see in a second, and added this partition wall in to basically make sure it's got a fire exit door between the kitchen and the main exit, which is obviously the front door. So what I highly recommend is, I'll put a link in the description to the video of the pre-refurb layout to what it was like before, because this wasn't here before. And it really shows you how you can chop and change properties around to fit your needs for your exit. So let's continue it, because this is a very nice finish. Really, the finish is really good now, honestly. Like you can see how the wall's coming in. You've got a door here, and you can see how it's going to look on, because this is going to be white on the back end. Nice fresh internal doors. You've got the doors upstairs as well. They're already here, ready to be installed. And we've made this open plan, so I'll show you this in a second as well. Because this is more of a progression video, but you'll see what it was like before, what it's like now, and what it's like afterwards. So you'll see how these renovations really blossom, which is a weird word to use. One thing to add as well at this stage is when you look on the pre-refurb video, again, check the description to the video and watch the pre-refurb video on this one in terms of the layout, because this doesn't exist. And also this was like a really old-fashioned doorway sort of thing, and we've taken it all out. We've just ripped the whole thing out, and you can see the space it's opened up with, and I think it looks awesome, to be totally honest with you, because you've opened up space, because space really adds value, and we expect this one to value at about 135 to 140 post refurb. Bought for about £87,000, expect the GDV, so the value after renovation, to be about 135 to 140. So you can really see, open the space, putting a brand new kitchen in, and just making it all fresh and new really adds value. So this is actually a funny bit now, because this didn't exist before, like I said. This was just an open space with the stairs coming down here. So the handrail itself, we're actually going to completely replace this, have that replaced. Bathroom we're not touching because there's no need to, but this is going to be freshly put new carpet on, new flooring, have this change, this whole banister, obviously paint and decorate all this kind of stuff, and it's all be nice and fresh. but you can see before on the video what it was like before, where this was over open space, very horrible, very dated, and this was actually just like a plastered wall. Not even plastered, it was more just like, it was boarded up basically. So it just looked horrible. So we've literally just ripped the whole thing off. And you can see how much space it has now. And it's a good, this is structurally sound. So we're just going to replace this actual stairwell and the handrail. And yeah, the rest has all just been ripped off. So you can see how much space we've opened up by just taking the rubbish off, to be honest. Just to show you how childish I am with all this as well. If you look at the pre-refurb video, you'll see all this was, it was boarded as well. But we've literally taken all that off as well, and it's just added more space. So you've got the actual wall to the property, which then we've obviously plastered on top of, and then we can paint, but you can see it was just space to be utilized. Ripped all the old boarding off, and it was just everything that made it look dated and horrible. We've taken it off, put new plaster on, new boarding, new painting, freshen the whole thing up. One of the biggest things that we do in South Wales is literally turn horrible houses into really nice rentals, whether it's for the buy-to-let market or social housing. And well, for our portfolio, we just do social housing. For clients who want to build portfolios with us, we just do buy-to-lets, but the approach is always the same, just to clarify that. Now, I'm not going to ramble too much about the bedrooms because they're kind of self-explanatory in the sense of we're not changing them around. We are literally just replacing the flooring, doing the plastering, doing the painting. New electrics are in, so that's really cool. So we're really happy with that because we got a full rewire on this one. So it means when you're doing full rewires, you're getting longevity there. So you don't always have to do a full rewire, but electricals have the most remedial work if you just leave them alone. So if you come into a property and there's existing electrics, be very careful with it because 9 times out of 10 is going to be remedial work. So we tend to look to do a full rewire if we're unsure, to save remedial costs in the long run and have longevity. The boiler, very happy with that. It's all good, it's boxed in, and we're going to put a door in here as well. But windows, that's good as well. We're going to change the window pane, but different story. The bedrooms themselves, all 3 of them, it's a 3-bed property, good sizes, great location the property's in, and it's just flooring, plastering, painting. Getting the electrics in as well. We're going to put a light bulb, LED light bulb for energy efficiency in each bedroom as well. And that's basically that, guys. Well, for this room. I'll show you the other 2 bedrooms, but it's very, very rinse to repeat. So bedroom number 2, radiator has been ripped off. Again, new flooring to be put in. You can see the paintwork's already been done, which is awesome. Again, a lot of it was just ripping the old stuff off. So again, watch the pre-refurb video, which I'll put in the description, and you'll see basically like how much progress has been made on these, and more importantly, how we approach a project and what we do to what we're kind of doing to the exit. So this one, because I'm buying it for my portfolio, I'm having this on social housing, which I'll break down shortly on what that means and the differences. But essentially, we're approaching it. Every project is approaching it with the exit in mind. So if you want to make it social housing, you got to look at the social housing requirements. If you're doing a buy-to-let, you got to look at that. If you want to do a flip, you got to vary those factors in. So whenever we're doing this, like in this property, for example, we're not changing the skirting. There's no need to. It's quite flush, so it doesn't look like a castle or anything. But we don't need to change it, so we haven't. The social housing provider doesn't need it. The value, it's not going to add any value. Aesthetically, it'll look a little bit better it'll look a bit better if we did change it, but we don't need to. It's not going to affect the value of the property itself. It's more of the aesthetic. But because for social housing, for the exit, for what we need it to be, we don't actually need to change it, so we're basically not going to. And if we did change it all, you're talking another £4 on a refurb, which you don't need to spend, sorry. So if you spend £4 on a refurb, you want to make sure that you actually times that by 3 on your return. So if it's not bringing 12 grand back in the back end, you got to factor in if that's worth spending. For me, it's not, so I'm not going to. And that's that. But the rest of it is almost a full refurb apart from the bathroom. What I will do before I break down the models and what we do is I will say to check in on this channel in about 6 weeks, because I'll do a post-refurb video on this one. So what you'll have then is a pre-refurb, during refurb and post-refurb, and you'll see how we've had a very rundown dated property, renovated it as you can see now, and then within probably like 10 weeks, if not less, or maybe even a tiny bit more potentially, we've transformed it into a lovely 3-bed property that can be rented out and it's going to house refugees, this particular property is. So really proud of it, and we can't wait to show it and get it on a rental. But yeah, I will break down the services and what we do shortly, and how this applies to what we do. So why am I even showing you this house? Why is this video come about, and basically what is the reason for this video? So this video is one of the projects that we've taken on for ourselves for our buy-to-let portfolio in South Wales. When I say buy-to-let, this one is going to be for social housing, which I'll feed into a second what that even means. But long story short, we bought this one for £87,000. The renovation on this one is just over £20,000. The GDV, so the value once renovated, we expect to be £140,000, if not conservatively 135. And then, like I said, it's renting out to a social housing provider if it all goes to plan. Social housing, the relevance to that is the fact that we work with social housing providers in South Wales because they give guaranteed rent and and basically don't have a management fee at all, and they can take the property on for 5 years. The downside is they're incredibly hard work to get hold of the contracts, to get social housing involved in them. Once you do get them, they're great, but the insurance is much higher, the interest on the mortgage is much higher. It's not all sunshine and rainbows for social housing. So I don't do my whole portfolio with these, but I do most of them because they can be set and forget, but we only do these for our own portfolio. I'll feed into why I mentioned that in a second, but basically these are only for our own portfolio for the reason of they're a headache to get hold of the contracts. I've literally had 4 visits to this property with the social housing provider already, but they've come here to view it, and they even came here today, literally half an hour ago, and told us some additional costs that are needed. So basically an additional fire alarm we need installed downstairs now. Sorry, smoke alarm. So literally, like, it's another thing that we have to factor into the cost. So it's a headache to get, and I'll feed into why I mentioned that in a second from a buy-to-let client perspective. So basically, for anyone who's new to the channel, my name is Ryan Eastley. I've been investing in property in just South Wales for about 8 years now, even though I look 12 years old. Get it all the time, don't worry, it's not new to me. Every new client's like, how old are you? I'm 30, by the way, believe, even though I'm 12, right? But basically, what we do in South Wales is I basically buy rental properties in South Wales, rundown properties like this. Again, check the pre-refurb video on this one, which I'll put in the description of the video, to see what this project was like pre-refurb, and you'll see how much progress we made. Long story short, I invest in myself and basically buy buy-to-lets in South Wales. I also help other people build buy-to-let portfolios or do flips in South Wales as well. Been doing it for about 4 years now, so you know we're really scaling this up now, and we have been scaling this up for years. And I think we do probably about 100 projects a year, whether it's our own portfolio or whether it's clients. So that's us really. One thing I do want to touch on is we only do buy-to-let projects for clients. We do social housing for ourselves because it's a headache, but we only do buy-to-lets for ourselves. We do flips for clients as well. So a lot of our clients, if they have anywhere between 50k or 150 or even more, reach out and book a call with us if you want to build a portfolio in South Wales, because that's exactly what we do. Or if you want to do flips, reach out and book a call. I'll put a link in the description to the video to book a call with us if you want to, but that's just a bit of context on myself.